it is a very important job that moms do. And I say moms because anybody with breath in them can be a mother.
Yes.
It's not that difficult. And it happens by accident a lot.
Yeah.
And fewer than should take it seriously even if it wasn't planned.
Right.
Lord knows I wasn't planned.
No.
I was unexpected. I was a surprise.
But still blessed.
But very blessed.
Immaculate.
Yeah, I was apparently the second coming, because my mom I would never do anything like that. I don't know how this happened. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll move beyond that. I always feel really blessed on Mother's Day, because I was so blessed as to most people have a mother and a grandmother. I was lucky enough to be raised by both of them.
Yeah.
So really, I grew up with two mothers.
Yes.
I had honestly probably one of the best old school Pentecostal holiness women that you could have ever asked for as my mother that I lived with.
Yeah.
But she was too soft-hearted, and so I had my slightly less Pentecostal holiness mama that would tear my tail up when I messed up,
Yes,
as
sir.
she lived right around the corner from us.
Yes,
So
sir.
I had it from both sides. And on top of everything else, I've now married the mother of my son, who is a lot of both of them.
Yes.
So God bless him. Bless him. Because he's still got grandma too. I struggled a lot with coming up with something for today, because everything that I tried to look up, I looked up, and there were 15,000 Mother's Day messages that had already been preached. And I said, okay, well, God, I don't feel like you're going to give me something that somebody else has done a million times. And I finally got off on a rabbit trail, which is where most of my messages come out of, and I came across one of what I would consider one of the most honorable mothers in the whole Bible, and she doesn't even have a name, and so we'll get to that. The Bible has no shortage of great mothers. Of course, you have Eve, who's really the mother of all of us. She was the mother of Seth, who was even mentioned in the line and the lineage of Jesus. You have Jochebed, who had enough faith in God to put her son Moses in the river because she knew that he would be taken care of, and then even got the chance to nurse him and groom him as he grew up in order to make him the man of God that he needed to be. You know, you've got Hannah, who dedicated her son to God because God had blessed her with him. So many, even Mary, who was blessed enough to be Jesus' mother on earth. But all of them have names. And I don't really have a very long message, which is good. God must have known that we were going to be running behind. But I'll be speaking out of Matthew, the 20th chapter, and it starts in verse 20. It says, "And then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children," no name, "with her sons worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him." And I'll pause right there, because up to this point in the life of Jesus, all kinds of people have approached him. They've asked for healing. They've asked for knowledge and clarification of exactly what it was he was preaching. I can't imagine how many requests were made of him every day. How many requests are still made of him every day? And so here comes yet another person with a request. And verse 21 says, "And he said unto her, What wilt thou?" Which is fancy talk for what do you want? Because by this time, with the crowds Jesus traveled through, it's likely to be 500 people have come up to him asking for something today.
Right.
What do you want? And she said unto him, Grant that these my two sons sit, one on the right hand and one on the left, in your kingdom. Not for healing, not for financial blessing, not for anything for her. All she wanted was that her sons have a place in Jesus' kingdom. That's it. That's the end of the request. Of all the things, think of all the things that you would ask of Jesus if you stood face to face with him right now. And the only thing you could think of was your children.
Right.
It's a very short passage, but there's so much said in it. She said, God, I don't care about me. I'm old. I'm grown. I've done what I'm going to do up to this point in my life. But my sons, I want them to sit at your right and left hand in your kingdom. Not only did she ask Jesus for them to have a place in her kingdom, she asked for in Jewish tradition, those were the two highest places in a court. The right and left hand man were everything. Those were the two most trusted people that any leader had, were the people that sat directly beside of him. So she didn't ask for them to be ushers at the door. She didn't ask for them to be treasurers of the church or secretaries of the church. She asked for them to be the two highest, most trusted people in God's kingdom. And of course Jesus told her, he said, you don't know what you're asking, because they would have to drink of the cup that I drink from. I'm paraphrasing. Not only did she ask him for them to be in a prestigious position, but she still desired that even after Jesus told her, look, this is not an easy job. This is not going to be an easy path for them. That's still what she wanted. So out of everything that this woman could have asked for, all she could think about was her sons. Even Yochebed with Moses, she put him in the basket and she let God decide what to do with them. She didn't make a request, just keep him safe. With Hannah, she dedicated Samuel to the Lord. She didn't ask for anything about it. She just made him a Nazirite. She just made him a devoted man of God. Just train him up so that he'll spread God's word. That's it. This woman cared enough for her children to say, God, I just don't want them to be believers. I want them to be people you can count on.
Right.
I want them to be your go-to guys, your right and left hand. I want them not to have prestige, because the right and the left hand man, it goes without saying, if you call someone your right and left hand, they're the ones that do for you.
Yes.
Jesus even told her, he said, that it's not my place to give, that's up to the Father. But out of every mother in the Bible that did so many great things, it amazed me that not even enough was known about this woman that she even has a name.
No.
She's Zebedee's wife. She's James and John's mom. She's not named anywhere. I looked everywhere to see if there was some side note, something where there was a name. And she is one of the only unnamed mothers in the whole Bible. But out of everybody that asked Jesus for anything during his time on earth, she was the only one that asked for them to have a place in the kingdom. There were many that asked for healing for their children.
Yes.
But she was the only one that asked, make them something for you.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Yes.
And every one of you today, every one of you here today, all of the mothers here today, have made an effort to do that same thing.
Yes.
And you should be honored to be like this woman. God, don't just let him grow up in church. Let him do something in
Yes.
church.
Amen.
Let them work for you. Let them sing for you, preach for you, whatever it might be. Let them be doers for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so this Mother's Day, I want to thank all of our mothers, mine included, because I wouldn't be here if she hadn't asked God, honestly, to keep her from killing me as I grew up, and secondly, that I would be a doer.
Yes.
that me and Ashley would be doers. We don't have a choice in the matter. That
No.
request was made of us a long time ago.
Yes.
And so thank you for making doers.